like, if I simply question something and you're just going to throw slurs at me, you're just going to throw derogatory terms at me, that's going to make me think, well, there's something going on here that you don't want me to know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with conspiracy theorists. I mean, if I question you about the vaccine and you throw conspiracy theorist at me, it's going to make me think,
they want you to shut
well,
up.
there's something else going on here.
Why do they want to insult you to get you to shut up? Like,
if
what
I
are you
ask simple
digging up?
questions and bring up information and all I get back is insults, all I get back is hush, 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 you're this, you're that, here's an insult thrown your way, I'm going to question more. You know, and a lot of people, they get scared. They go, oh no, I'm not a racist. I'm not a conspiracy
They back
theorist.
off.
I'm not anti-Semite. I'm a good person just like you. Let me not question anymore. I'm so sorry. And that's the problem, is that when your job is being threatened, when your livelihood is being threatened, when your character is being smeared, a lot of people go run and hide. And that's a huge thing that happened in 2017 and 2018. And it was really sad because I watched a lot of people who simply ask questions, or, you know, as a comedian, you would know this, simply make jokes for the sake of them being jokes, you know, have their entire lives ruined.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, I saw what happened to Gavin McInnes. Like, I kind of became more, you know, had him on the podcast a few times and became like, you know, got to know him a little bit more. But after his sort of like mega canceling or whatever, and I saw you did like a little interview with him, and when I was researching you, and I was like, oh my God, that's like my friends are hanging out.
Gavin McInnes, the story behind Gavin McInnes is so horrible because what he is being canceled for isn't even his fault. He's being canceled for the actions of someone else that got associated with the group that he started years ago.
As a joke. Yeah.
He does not have, here's the thing. What happened with the Gavin, I'm just going to hash this out because I love Gavin McInnes. I'll always stand up for Gavin McInnes. The man's a little crazy, but I love my crazy.
He's hilarious and he's real smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm a fellow crazy too, so I can't really judge. But the thing about Gavin McInnes is that with Gavin McInnes, it comes down to the fact that he started a group that was supposed to be a drinking club. It was never about
it's like a social club.
Never go out into the streets. It was never about let's go out into the streets and fight Antifa.
It was never going to be an answer to Antifa. It became that. It was like the media sort of twisted it into that because, as you know, they would escort speakers, you know, like the Ann Coulters of the world, like that needed to be escorted to speak at schools that they were being paid to speak at. And eventually over time, you know, the protesters and people would be, you know, trying to keep them from doing their jobs, basically.
And it also got down to the point where, you know, and where the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes can't control the actions of other people. It was never supposed to be this legit thing. It was just, it started off as a drinking club, and then the wrong people got involved and started painting it as someone else. And let's be honest, if you were involved in politics in 2016 or 2017 or even 2018, politics was the peak LARPing. Like, those rallies and those protests were peak LARPing. Let's go out into the streets and go, quote unquote, fight for freedom. It's like, you're not fighting for freedom. You just want an excuse to punch someone in the face. Let's be honest. That's all this ever was. If you're punching each other in the middle of the street, if anything, it's actually causing us more problems, because then the people in the ivory towers are now looking down at us and laughing at us because we're distracting ourselves by fighting in the street. And, you know, at the time, a lot of us, including myself, were like, yeah, we're going to go out there and fight for freedom, fight these commie scum. You know, it was, but looking back in it, it was LARPing. That's all it ever was. And so I feel like because of that time, because of the nature of things, a lot of these drunk dudes in Proud Boys shirts who call themselves Proud Boys caused a lot of trouble for themselves, and it all fired back on Gavin McInnes because they used the name that he started. And it really wasn't Gavin McInnes' fault. So when people come at him and say, oh, how dare you disavow the Proud Boys, you started the Proud Boys, reality is that it became a group that he really didn't even start. It became something completely different, and he couldn't associate with it anymore. Not to mention, when you're a married man with children, you have children to feed and take care of, you're not going to focus on any of this. You're not going to think about any of this, because what matters more? A bunch of dudes who need a hobby and need to go bash people in the street. And here's the thing, I'll say the same thing about Antifa too. I won't just say about the Proud Boys. Antifa and Proud Boys need to get a hobby. You have got to stop going out in the middle of the street and bashing each other in, because it's not actually doing anything. If you see a problem in your community, do something about it. But slapping each other across the face is not going to do anything.
That's the thing is like, and I've met and hung out with a lot of Proud Boys, and like a lot of their hearts are in the right place. But I have seen this sort of LARPing that you are talking about, and it's
they're
like,
there for the violence. There is a T-shirt that Joe Biggs wears every time he goes out, and I've called him on this to his face. So if he comes after me for saying this, he wears a shirt that says "I'm here for the violence" because that's what everyone's there for. And I just don't want part of it anymore.
I know like men, they get excited. They need to, I like that energy, that spirit, but it could be channeled into a healthier, like more productive way. And
just
just beating people up is not the answer.
Learn to weld, learn to work with wood, raise some chickens,
hang up a cabinet.
Just the real manly things that are important. Don't go bash people in the street and end up in jail, and your poor wife and children are wondering where you are.
Bash a spider in. We need more of that.
We need more men to slap around spiders. That's what we need.
We do.